Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the voice inside your head and controlling the voice inside your head to your advantage. We all have an internal dialogue running. Some people call it an internal monologue, but I have that many voices chatting away to each other inside of my head. I consider it a dialogue. There's always at least two people chatting away. The first time I heard it laid out this way was from Anthony Robbins. And I think it's true. I think it's a really useful insight, which is the process of thinking. Not only is it running from an internal dialogue, so you're talking and thinking at the same time inside of your head. So talking is thinking. Jordan Peterson has made that point as well. But Anthony Robbins said, you're actually asking yourself a series of questions and then answering it. So thinking is talking inside of your head. Thank you, Jordan Peterson. And when you're talking inside of your head, you're asking yourself a series of questions and then answering them. Thank you, Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins. This is useful to know. So become aware of the internal dialogue inside your head. And when I just told you the process of thinking is talking inside your head and it's a series of questions and answers, probably what you would have done to process that is say to yourself, is that true? So I said, you're asking yourself questions, and you would have said, am I? Oh yeah, I am. You're always thinking, the voice is always running, and it's going question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. If you want a really useful hack for controlling your inner monologue, inner dialogue, it is to ask yourself better questions. Because if the brain is kind of like a question answering machine, there's really simple examples you can give of that. If I say to you, I used to have a pet elephant, he was 22 years old and his name was Jeff. Inside of your brain, you'll have started to construct imagery around me with a pet elephant and what that would look like. If I then say to you, do you know the name of Jeff's female elephant mate? Because your brain is a question answering machine, it starts to come up with potential answers. So what's happening right now? Inside your head, your brain is coming up with female names for the wife of an elephant that doesn't exist. Why am I giving you this as an example? Because I want you to see the ways in which actually, and I don't mean this dismissively, the brain is kind of a bullshit machine. If you're asked a question, your impulse will be to answer it first, far before saying, I don't know. Which is why saying I don't know is like a skill that we all have to learn. We just go, I don't know. You're asking me a question about something, I don't know. I don't know and I don't want to answer that question. Learn to say that. It will save you so much trouble. But the brain doesn't want to do that, because when I say it's a bullshit machine, I'm being provocative. It's one of the brain's jobs is to make up reality. Why? Because of all the information we're consuming, most of it gets deleted. That which we do let in, we distort and generalize based on our prejudices, based on our filters, based on our values, based on our beliefs, to make sense of reality. We do an awful lot of coloring in. There's an awful lot of blank spaces that we just color in, we just draw assumptions about. Even your vision functions that way. Most of what you see, or at least what you think you're seeing, you're not seeing. Your brain is actually making it up. You've learned to do that. Everybody learns to do that so that you can construct sense of reality, because basically you're seeing everything flat. Light moves, generally speaking, in straight lines, and everything you're seeing right now is flat, but you're not perceiving it as flat. You're perceiving it as having depth, because your brain is adding that element to it for you in the simulation of reality that you've built inside your head. But it is just a simulation. You can't see real reality in the same way you can't think about real reality. The people who are closest to reality are just running higher quality simulations. They're running higher quality hallucinations than the rest of us. it's good to remember that. Keeps you humble, means that you're not too stuck on your ideas, you're not too stuck inside of your own head and too certain about things. So if you want to have a better quality of life, it makes sense for you to try and take control of the words you're using inside of your head on a hour by hour, minute by minute basis. And one way that you can do that is to use everything I just told you about the proclivity of the brain and how we think, to direct it in certain directions and to say, okay, how do I want to feel, for example? What do I want to be focused on? Do I want to be in high levels of energy today? Do I want to be cheerful? Do I want to be optimistic? Do I want to get on with my life and feel good about the future? What questions could you ask that it would allow you to get to that end result? Well, let's be really simple at like a primary school level. I want to be higher energy. What's some questions I could ask that would invite me to find solutions of being higher energy? I could ask myself, what can I do to make myself operate at higher energy today and tomorrow and the day after? And your brain will begin to come up with solutions instantly. I want to be optimistic about the future. What could I do that would make me feel more optimistic about the future? Well, I could start thinking about great things that I could do in the future if I acted this way, or I did this thing, or I altered this belief, and I could start projecting forward into an awesome future. Ask yourself good questions. Again, back to Anthony Robbins. I remember, I think it was in the book from 1991. It's called Awaken the Giant Within. And in that book, he said, the quality of the questions you ask yourself determines the quality of the answers you get. You'll notice when I'm doing coaching with people, I always say to people, ask me a question, make it one sentence long and have it end in a question mark. So instead of word salading a load of stuff about the problem that leads you back into the problem, just by asking people to create a cogent question, they'll find that the answer is encoded in the question and they don't even need to ask me it. But we all must learn to ask higher quality questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and for your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Cheers.